Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks for Wednesday, June 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. I am a technical trader. So if you're somebody that uses technical analysis and charts, or who knows, maybe you're just curious more about how charts work, how technical analysis can be used to create trade plans and give yourself an idea about how to approach a particular stock, then this will be a video for you. So let's get to it. Stock number one, AMC, which has been the case and remains, and it's going to be the case moving forward as long as, basically the entire world continues to track it. And today, I would argue very, very solid day. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line. It served its purpose for now. But the big dynamic that happened today, which for a while was looking pretty shaky, but you got to give credit where credit's due. But the price came down here right around this 51.50 mark, give or take. And you go through the history of things, and you can see acted as support there, meaning buyers showed up. Acted as support there, buyer showed up, and very temporarily the price did slightly break down below there, but once again history repeated itself, and not only did the buyer show up to just prevent the price from going down any further, you also had the price bounce very, very nicely from that area. So definitely a lot of buyers down there, whether they're long, shorts, or, it's going to be a combination of both. But it's very clearly, this is a very popular area to either cover those shorts or just enter into the position, because now, literally 3 separate times now, the price has been down around that area and has held very nicely. So good to see that 51.50-ish range continue to hold strong. And then, and this will mean a little bit more to those that watch past videos, still all about that overall trend line up there. But within the grand scheme of things, and I'll end on this because this is essentially what's playing out here. But an overall pattern here, so that is known as the pull portion. Then we have that portion of it and that area. And then for you golfers out there, I'll put a little golf hole down there for visualization's sake. And you can see this is what would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So AMC on the 30-minute time frame, which is what we're looking at here, has a bull pennant pattern. So overall, those are going to be the main dynamics moving forward. So let's see how it continues to play out on Wednesday. Our next stock, ticker symbol ALF, and what a monster move today. This has been in past the watch list videos, and you can see that that blue line there represented the blue sky breakout point, and with the gap up this morning, you can see spent a little bit of time right at that level, but after it broke through it, the price essentially never looked back. So needless to say, definitely a lot of updates here need to be made, so I'm going to go ahead and clear those levels out there. But one of the newest areas of support to watch, and what I would call the ideal level, you say, Clay, what's going to make this chart look the absolute best moving forward? And that's going to be if the price can stay above 1250. Now, even if the price does drop below 1250, that doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But that would certainly make any sort of pullback look the absolute healthiest. But from the overarching standpoint, it's all about that purple line right there. The very well-known, the very famous 50-period moving average. You can see so far so good. Price done a great job of maintaining above it. Whenever the price has gotten down around it there, even a little bit right there, price has respected it very nicely. And because that is a moving average, that line is going to continue to move itself higher and higher. So moral of the story there, from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that purple line as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the bulls are in full health, full control. How you must visualize that. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, all I can really say is that right there. Good problem to have, because the price is literally in totally blue sky breakout territory. It's at all-time historic highs. So I have no idea. You're going to have to use your gut instincts. You're going to have to use other time frames to try to, kind of deduct where that actually is. But again, that is a good problem to have when you sit there and literally say, yeah, I don't know where any other levels of resistance are, because it's totally blue sky breakout territory. So definitely a good problem to have. Next one here, ticker symbol ATOS. Very, very impressive move today. Got the volume to come pouring back in. And this one had already been in an uptrend, so it's not like the upwards move was anything new per se. But what was definitely new is, made a lot more noise today with the big volume, big movement up. But, from kind of just a broad sense of things, the trend just got continuation, but just a little bit more. It was kind of a sneaky, slow, assassin, but today it just started, honking horns, doing all sorts of stuff, made it a lot more, evident with all the volume today. But one of the newest areas of support now to keep an eye on moving forward, going to be right there at 650. 650 is one of those areas where if the price can stay above there, think about what that would be doing. Price comes down there, stays above it, and then you take a step back and you look at that as a set of lows, that as a set of lows, that right there or there, and you get the idea. That would just be a very, very impressive looking consolidation point. But again, as I talked about in the previous one, even if the price doesn't hold above it, not the end of the world, because you still do have that 50-period moving average down there, the purple line. And as long as that level moves higher and higher and the price stays above it, that does still imply that the broad trend is still plenty bullish. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground to watch. Whoops, let me try something else. There we go. Main level to watch going to be right up there at $7.50. And in my opinion, at least no guarantees. If the price can get up there, get a good high volume break of 750, then it's probably going to go and put in some new highs. Again, you can't say that for sure, but I don't think anybody would be shocked to see a high volume break of 750, and then potentially push this up to $8, if not higher than that. But all in all, the trend continues. Next one here, ticker symbol CLOV, and this is a very tricky one, and if you're kind of confused by it, I totally understand because, yes, the opening part of the day, price just skyrocketed up, and then there's a huge move back to the downside, but then all of a sudden, the price is starting to recover back upwards, which brings about the more than valid question of, okay, well, is this going to be something new? Is this a genuine power, movement back to the upside, or is this just some sort of almost miniature dead cat bounce there? And the level to me that really tells the story in terms of whether or not this chart still has any sort of kind of gas left in the tank is 1175. And the reason why that level is helpful, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but for example's sake, if the price were to go to 1175 and then break on down through it, well, at that point, you would quite literally have the price having gone right back to where it was. I mean, price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of true strength, but if the price can stay above there, then as I showed with a couple of the other stocks, that would imply that you have a low there, you have those lows, and then you envision those as stair steps, when at least the price is still showing some signs of progress. But the last thing you want to see is for the price to literally go back to where it was. And again, that's associated with that 1175 mark. If the price does continue to try to work its way back upwards, first key battleground to watch very closely, going to be that pink line there, the 200 period moving average, valid, let's just call it at the $13 mark. And then if the price can push up through 13, next key overarching level right up there around $13.60. So keep your eye on those couple areas. But yeah, definitely a tricky looking chart. But we'll see if this little late day bounce here does indeed have any sort of true genuine power behind it. Next stock here, ticker symbol PLUG. Very, very nice day today. Big volume up. Price reacted nicely with it, so definitely going to be some eyeballs on it moving forward. And really what I'm very curious about is where some of these next key levels of resistance at. And the main level here that a lot of people are going to be watching, rightfully so, because it is certainly within striking distance now, is right up there around $34.50. This is the location, as high as it got from several days ago. And now, once again, the price is well within striking distance. So you're going to have every single breakout player and their brother's uncle watching that level and wondering, all right, I know it got rejected before, but can it get the breakup through that level again? And when a lot of people are watching the same level and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can definitely produce some very dynamic movements. So no guarantees. My point is it's a more than rational, valid thought that if the price does get up to 34.50-ish and break up through it, that would be considered a technical breakout. So there will be people that are saying, hey, look, it's breaking out. I'm a breakout player. I'm going to buy. So definitely keep a close eye on that. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, the ideal level in terms of making the chart look the best would be staying above 33. But again, as I've talked about in past stocks, just continue to watch that purple line there, which will move itself higher and get more and more relevant. But overall, very impressive movement, big volume. Now all eyes turn to 34.50. Next stock here, ticker symbol WISH. Did this analysis in the video from Monday. And not a whole lot to report other than just more so confirmation. What do I mean by that? Well, confirmation in the sense of levels that I talked about on Monday being areas of support, held as support. Case in point right there, $13, that green line that I put in there in yesterday's video. You can see the price came down there several times today, and it did indeed hold as support. So again, not a new level to report, but definitely confirmation that, yeah, there are buyers hanging around 13. But on the flip side of things, the level of resistance that I talked about right up there around 14, well, was indeed a level of resistance. You can see, there was this faulty breakout right there. Price broke above it. And then, did not last very long at all. Snapped back below it, and then just stayed down below that $14 mark for the duration of the day. So like I said, you have a very tight range here, a very well-defined level. So going back to that whole self-fulfilling prophecy angle of things, you're going to have both longs and shorts watching each of these levels and waiting to see who is ultimately going to win out. Are the bulls going to win out with a break to the upside, or are the bears going to win out with a break to the downside? That's the big question headed in Wednesday. So let's see what happens with it. Next one here, ticker symbol TRCH, and wanted to get this one up just because I know it's still a very talked about stock, very popular stock, but not a good day today, but there is some perspective that goes into this. What do I mean by that? Well, let me just get these lines out of play right now, meaning depending on perspective, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, maybe you bought right there, maybe you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well, yeah, from that angle, things are not looking very good at all because there was this big pullback. However, assuming you care about the big picture point of view, and I'm not saying this will occur, but for example's sake, let's say this thing pulls back even more and comes down to $6.50. So price comes down here to $6.50, behaves in that manner, then starts to curl itself back upwards. Now, emphasis here on big picture. From the big picture perspective, what do you still have? Well, you'd still have a set of lows there. you'd have lows there, you'd have lows there, you'd have lows down there. And if you envision those as stair steps, well, from the big picture, you'd still very clearly have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. And that's what it's all about. It's all about building higher bases, and that's what still has the opportunity to happen. Again, I understand if you're a day trader and you bought there and wanted to sell, 7 seconds later. All right, yeah, from that angle, you don't care about these stair steps. But that's why I'm trying to make the distinction that these comments are more so from the general point of view. So yes, big pullback today. However, the chart does still have that opportunity to chip away and build a higher base. So let's see if that can get that done over the next couple of days. Our next stock here, ticker symbol HPIL. We are down in the world of penny stocks. And I mean, this one, very, very impressive movement today and just absolutely monster volume. Over 1 billion shares traded on this one. So yeah, a lot of eyeballs on it. And like I said, did make a good move. So I want to get a couple levels here mapped out from the technical point of view for those of you that do enjoy penny stocks. So the first area of support going to be right there at 0042. And that's going to be that ideal level as I've talked about before. What's going to make the chart look the healthiest? What's going to make this, consolidation look the best? Well, definitely stand above 0.042. But again, it's all about that purple line there from the overarching standpoint. So as that 50-period moving average moves higher and higher, from the general overall premise of things, as long as the price stays above that line, then this entire movement is still, perfectly bullish, perfectly healthy. Again, depending on perspective, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, I'm sure nobody in that regard wants to see the price drop all the way back down there. But even if that were to occur, like I said, as long as it stays above that purple line, that by definition means that the price is still trending upwards, and that's what you want to see. In terms of areas of resistance, I don't know, are we at, well, we might be in blue sky breakout territory here. Yeah, I mean, I'm going back months upon months. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, basically in blue sky breakout territory. And the quick way to just look at that is, well, where did the party officially stop today? And so from a very kind of miniature standpoint of things, right there at 005, going to be that main battleground here, but nothing fancy or complicated behind that other than the fact that that's just simply where the price finally stopped going up today. So keep an eye on that. But overall, monster movement, monster volume. Let's see if it can continue moving forward. Next one here, ticker symbol GSAT. Did this one just on Monday and absolutely destroyed all these red lines here, which represent resistance. So needless to say, a whole lot of updates need to be done. I'm just going to go ahead and clear all these lines out. Sure, they pertain, but from the presentation standpoint, I'm trying to make this simplified, and having lines and clutter everywhere, that just risks causing, maybe confusion. So let's just get some of the newest levels mapped out here. So from the support side of things, that ideal area, going to be right there at the $1.70 mark. And then, yes, from the overarching standpoint, continue to watch that purple line. But the more interesting dynamic here, and I don't want to say that supports don't matter, but what really matters now is because the price has not been up this high for quite a while is, all right, well, where's some of these next potential breakout points? Where's some of these next areas of resistance? And the next big breakout point resides right up there at, let me just make sure I got that right. Yeah, right up there at $1.93. And I'm going way back to, let's see, when was that from? Late February. So, I mean, we were talking about multi-month highs here. And then if the price can break up through $1.93, next key area of resistance after that point would then be up there right around 207, which is coming from, way back there in late February again. So, definitely have not seen these levels for a very long time. But again, you just look down here at this volume, and then you compare it back to everything else. And yeah, you can just see huge volume, monster price movement. There's going to be that many more eyeballs watching it headed into Wednesday. So let's see what happens with it. And our final stock, ticker symbol IDRA, and like many of the other ones, really kind of woke up today, except the difference on this one was very, very quiet. Had a couple where it had already been uptrending, and then all of a sudden the volume. But here, I mean, it was actually downtrending. And you look back here, and basically nothing going on. And then today, all of a sudden, kaboom. So yes, this one's going to be setting off all sorts of volume scanners and such. So let's get some of these levels mapped out. Again, from the support side of things, just quickly, what's going to be that level that makes it look the best? Definitely can stay above that breakout point right there to $1.45. But what makes this very interesting now are these levels of resistance, which again, because it's been since quite a while since the price been down around this area, now brings about where some of these next potential areas are at. And the next level here that a lot of people will be watching right there at $1.60, which, to be fair, the price did ultimately, break up above there. Now it's just a question of, okay, well, yeah, it broke above it, but couldn't stay above it. But headed into Wednesday, that's where the first question becomes, can the price break above it? But then more importantly, stay above it. And then if it can, the next key battleground to watch very closely, going to be right up there at the $1.70 mark. And if the price can push up through there, then then you can start to focus on and talk about more up in the $1.80s. So those are definitely, obviously not guarantees, but they're definitely well within the realm of realism, especially if the volume remains this strong, or who knows, maybe even gets stronger than that. Then you don't quite know what could happen there. But the moral of the story here is that really nothing at all has been going on for months upon months upon months. And then kaboom, the volume came pouring in today. So that's just where the big question mark resides. Can this volume keep up? And is this the start of something much bigger? We'll just have to sit back and see what happens. So those are the top 10 stocks. Hopefully you found this helpful. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Also, if you are interested in learning more about technical analysis, how to use charts to map out trade plans, kind of the philosophy behind charts and why they're so beneficial and how I like to use them, then I do offer a live class totally free. That'll be this Thursday. If you're interested more in that, then as soon as this video is over, I'm going to cut directly to it and talk more about it. So yes, like I said, if you maybe are brand new to charts or you just want to learn more about them, try to use them to help you build a consistent strategy, then I'm very confident you'll get a lot of value out of that class. So like I said, if you want to learn more, I'm going to cut to it right now. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.